the big conversations in the insurance industry right now is all around the customer, and I'm pleased to have Deno Fischer here to share some of his views and perspectives. So let's get to it. So Deno, how do you start the conversation around customer?
Typically, when we talk to our clients, we talk about what's the proposition that they have, what's the need in the market, how do they solve customer problems by addressing the needs and capturing value themselves. So for that, they need to know the customer. They need to know the needs, the preferences, the behavior that's being displayed. And once you understand all of this, that's when you can go and talk about the customer strategy. Not all customers are appropriate for every carrier. Not all customers are the same. So it's important to choose the groups of customers that you're interested in and to know which customers you may not be interested in. Therefore, you can then tailor your product, you can tailor your offering, you can tailor your communication strategy, and that's typically how we start the conversation around the customer.
Great. Now, we recently released some phenomenal global research around what's called the 5 MIs.
Yes.
Could you talk a little bit about the 5 MIs as it relates to the customer?
The first 2 MIs, my motivation and my attention, is all about the how a customer thinks, how a customer arrives at interest, how a customer arrives at desires, at preferences. So my motivation is, what do I care about? Where do I want to spend my time? Where do I want to spend my efforts? My attention is more around the when. When am I open to communication about a particular problem? When am I available? When am I disposed to talk about something? The third my connection, is all about the channel. What technology do I use? Am I online? Am I not online? Do I prefer face-to-face? Am I prefer mobile? And then the last 2 MIs are sort of more the consequences of the first 3. My watch is how I spend my time, and my wallet is how I spend my money. So my motivation and my attention are great indicators for companies as to where a customer will end up spending time, my watch, and money, my wallet.
Right.
And that is sort of how we look at the 5 MIs. It explains how consumers arrive at decisions, and it allows us to predict a little bit where behavior is going.
And there could be some global variations, right?
Oh,
By
absolutely.
country. Could you talk a little bit about that?
We know, for example, that in Asia, in China, customers are much more worried about losing their mobile phone than there are in the US, where we're more worried about losing our wallet. So that's a great indicator of where motivation and attention lies, where connectivity lies. In the publication, we have actually regional and country sections in there that go into deeper detail.
So just the last question then, in terms of a company addressing or moving forward on this, how would you start dealing with or addressing your experience strategy?
Right, so the experience strategy, very important. That's how my strategy manifests in an interaction with the consumer, right? Where I address the motivation, the attention in those respective channels to get time and to get money from my customers, from my consumers. The way we look at this is, first of all, the experience has to be intentional. We want to make sure that we do for sure what we intend to do, which could be self-serve, which could be white glove. Then I want to make sure that I identify the interactions where this is meaningful, the relevant interactions. And we at KPMG have the Customer Experience Excellence Center. And the research there has shown that there are 6 particular pillars that are very important. The pillars are sort of in order of initial priority are integrity, then resolution, then expectation, then personalization, then time and effort, and then empathy. So you need to build them bottom up, so in the order I just mentioned them. It's not that they're more important, it's just what you need to do first. Being empathetic without integrity doesn't really work. Being empathetic without having proper resolution management doesn't really work. So you asked me how would companies start around this, and we always work with our clients around building it bottom up. Look first at the integrity piece, then at the resolution piece. It's a little bit like Maslow's hierarchy of needs.
Okay, and that's the state of play on the customer space.